Hi guys, I hope you're doing really well as the lockdown continues. It's going to continue for a good few more weeks. And, what can we do? We can just take each day as it comes. Hopefully, I can provide you with some kind of information or entertainment or just some company during this time and something to kind of, get you all through it. Today, it's something a little bit lighter than yesterday. Not that really says very much. If you haven't checked out the video from yesterday, it was just dealing with something that's very new to me, something called Q. I don't know if you've heard about it. I just found a good documentary. I was sent a really interesting documentary that kind of covered it, so I was talking about that. Not saying that I believe it, of course, because one thing about me, I'm very much kind of listen to everything, believe nothing, pretty much. So I just like to look at different views on everything. All that's important right now, I believe, is that we take practical steps to look after ourselves. And that, to me, is stay inside and use this time to go within. The more we look without, the more confused we'll get. It's a good time to look within. Now, that said, and bearing in mind how I feel about things like astrology and stuff, I don't believe that it should be dogmatic. That said, I have been absolutely binge watching a channel called Conscience, and every time I go back to this channel, they've got like 500 to 1,000 new subscribers every single time, and it's fascinating because it's literally the predictions of an 11-year-old prodigy from India, astrological predictions. And I'm going to put the link in the description box below, but it's so interesting because this kid is 11 years old. He's an absolute prodigy. He speaks so many different languages, and I think that's why his knowledge of astrology is so great, because it's so hard to find a Vedic astrologer who actually speaks English. This guy speaks English, he speaks Tamil, he speaks Sanskrit to professor level, and Sanskrit is a hard language, and he speaks Kannada, he speaks so many languages basically. This is what the channel looks like, and that's him and his little sister. I think he's about 12 or 11 and she's something like 9, and she sings and stuff like that. But this child, he literally has predicted from last year a lot of the stuff that's going to happen, that has happened right now. So the channel's absolutely blowing up. Like when I started looking, they had less than 80,000 subscribers. And I'm not really used to seeing channels grow at that kind of rate, but it's absolutely fascinating because he said so much stuff about the stock market, about the transport industry going down, and obviously all the big stuff that's happening around the world to do with health and possible conflict and stuff like that, and just like a big global event basically. And a lot of people didn't believe him. So yeah, if you'd like to have a listen to that, please do. I'm going to leave a link to a video that he's made about the next few days. Because basically, from the 29th of March to the 1st of April, it's quite important that we are extra aware and extra kind of careful about, taking care about what we do, staying inside as much as possible, and not kind of making sure that this thing doesn't spread and things like that, because astrologers have actually been saying it for a really long time, but it's interesting to hear his view on it. Now, the other reason I bring it up is because he also talks about remedies, and this is something that I only really hear in Vedic astrology and Indian astrology, even though I do find Indian astrology the most complex and advanced and nuanced and multi-layered. It's also the only... I guess it's because it's so sophisticated, it actually understands how intent and how the human being can actually change astrological influences as well. And so far it's been impossible for me to actually find a competent Indian astrologer, Vedic astrologer I should say, that actually has an understanding of that. And this boy does. So if you want to check it out, I'm going to leave the link in the description. And basically it's just be very careful around the 29th to the 1st of April, because this will be the peak. And he explains why it's to do with like the nodes of the moon. And he's very talented basically. So have a little listen. Other than that, I really hope that you're doing super well. And, it's so important that we be responsible and really kind of remain calm in the midst of all of this, because, if you really do consider yourself a light worker, if you really do want to make a difference, those vibrations that you send out, and the boy talks about this in his videos as well. It's so powerful. It's so important. Please do the work on yourself. It's going to be so important. Bye.